Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry, managing broker at RE/MAX Elite, and Heather Holliday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week.
Happy Monday. Oh, did I mute you? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. I don't know if there's something wrong. Hear me?
I hear you just fine.
Can you hear me now?
Let's see.
Now I hear you. I can't tell if I don't know.
No, it was weird. The video wouldn't stop. It just kept replaying, or I don't know what happened.
Gotcha. Okay, good.
Everybody hear us okay?
Here we are. What's going on. And give us a thumbs up or something if you can hear us okay, so we know.
Yeah, it's like Facebook has made changes, and I don't know what just happened with StreamYard here. It kind of went a little wacky on me. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. It's the last Monday in September, so we are almost into the fourth quarter of 2022. Crazy.
Yeah.
So next week, we're going to be starting our business planning. So if you haven't signed up, make sure you sign up and make sure you get your homework and you download your business planning workbook that you will be able to fill in online if you're so inclined, or if you like paper, you can print it out and fill it in that way as well.
Yeah, I like having the digital version just because that way people can actually do it as we're moving along, or just being able to have that easier access. Although I still like my printed because it's just something that
you can pull out.
Because if I don't, it's digital. I won't look back at it. Otherwise, it sits on my desk all year round, and I just like writing stuff down.
Yeah, I hear that. I have some new notebooks coming tomorrow, so I can keep all my notes in one place, because a lot of times they're on little sticky notes. So
I don't do sticky. I actually kind of put the date.
Well, that's what I used to do, and then I got ran out of notebooks, so I just reordered some new ones. So good morning, Susan. Thanks for joining us. So this is a really appropriate topic, 10 free ways to generate real estate leads. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who's with RE/MAX, not our RE/MAX, but a different RE/MAX. And he had reached platinum, which is $250,000 in gross commission. And he told me that he does not spend a dime on any type of lead generation. It is all done organically through free ways to lead generate, which I thought was awesome. And his biggest way, which could be on our list, was growing up where he grew up. It was keeping in touch with, people that you've known your whole life and making sure you're constantly reminding them of what you're doing.
I mean, I think that's a big deal, and I don't think I realized how big of a deal that was until I moved to a different state, a different area, somewhere I know nobody.
Right.
It's almost like you take for granted when it's like, well, I have to put on makeup because even though I'm going to Home Depot, I'm going to run into somebody. And now I don't have to worry about that because I don't know anybody.
You don't know anybody? Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
But I did go to the gas station last week because it was so gorgeous Friday, and I just wanted to go for a drive, right? But I was too busy. So I was like, but I can go get gas. So I threw my tops back and I just took the back roads to the gas. And then somebody came over and started talking, and I couldn't place them, but it was my neighbor.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, well, that's weird. I don't know anybody here. And it happened to be my neighbor, but it was so weird because that hasn't happened since I moved here. I don't know anybody. So
right. Right.
Sometimes I think I see somebody I know and I realize, wait, no, I don't know them. They just
So,
resemble somebody.
well, and so even if you don't, I mean, know people. I started my real estate career when I was living in Connecticut, and I didn't know anybody in that town, but I also didn't have the money to spend on leads. So there's so many ways that things you can do, even if you're in a new area. You don't always have to pay for stuff. So the first would be to create a blog and write topics that people are interested in reading about. Um, and then make sure you're sharing that blog all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like your website's kind of a hub of information. And quite honestly, like where I get my content for my marketing blog is really the questions I get all the time that makes me think, oh, well, let me just do a quick video or tutorial or something so it resides on my website. One, it's going to help you work smarter, not harder, because you kind of get the same questions all the time. It's so super easy to do a 3-minute video and just kind of write how to do it. So that way, when you get that question, yes, you can answer, but you can also direct them to a video or a blog that you've done about it. And it really is a time saver.
Right.
Because
Right.
you get the same questions, but now it resides there. It's, search engine optimization, all of that stuff. I mean, I'm a blogger. I like doing that, but by sharing content of value, it kind of makes you that expert, right?
Right.
And people can go to your site for help or tutorials, all that kind of
Yeah.
fun
Well,
stuff.
I mean, and also our friend Eric Larkin, he does a lot of YouTube stuff and he makes a lot of video and he has a lot of content. And when I was speaking to him, good morning, Pam. When I was speaking to him the other day, I mean, he was saying he's getting a lot of business from the stuff he's doing on YouTube.
Absolutely.
And not necessarily, oh, here's my new listing. It's more like you say, content. It's more of a blog type thing. It's more of information of what's going on in the market, what's happening, maybe he's talking about appraisals, maybe he's talking about different types of loans that are out there, maybe he's talking about things to look at in a house that you want and how to narrow down what you're looking for. But write a blog, based on questions you are being asked over and over again, because if more than one person is asking you, then chances are the whole world is kind of interested in the answer.
Right. And it comes from a place of value. But also, I mean, our number one blog every single year is the school calendar. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing. I really just kind of copy and paste and add a graphic and just, a little bit of tips and tricks.
Especially since all you got to do is type in BPS, BrevardPublicSchools.com, and the school calendar's there. But you're right.
But you got to find it. And there's all this other stuff. But when you search it, we're coming up in the search engines. It's by far our number one blog every year. But also think of, and it's super easy to find, like on Yelp, is, favorite places to go, Valentine's Day dinners, right? Where to go see Christmas lights, events, parades, local content, because that keeps it localized and still drives traffic to your website. It provides value. So it doesn't always have to be real estate, but just think of the questions you get all the time. And that to me is great content for your website. It's kind of evergreen. It's just there. Yep. And it doesn't get stale or old. It's not kind of generic. It's more local. So for me, providing that's probably my number one way of people finding me, I guess.
Right.
And asking me questions.
So, and then next is connect with people on social media. So connect with people again. If someone is saying something on social media that you find interesting or that you like, don't just give it a thumbs up, but make a comment. Because the whole point is unique. They're not necessarily looking at who gave the thumbs up, but they are interacting with the people that leave comments. And like you always say, don't leave them hanging. So when they make a comment, you need to comment back so that they're seeing your response, that you're interacting.
Right. So there's a lot of people who pay kind of like a third-party company to post social, like Automatic. And a lot of them will be kind of engagement posts, right? They're asking a question and people actually go there and answer the questions. But if you're kind of not doing the social or don't know that that's even happening, you don't you're not engaging. Like if you're going to do an engagement post and people are answering, don't leave them hanging. Like
Yeah.
literally get inside of that conversation, because that's the purpose of social. It's not just media, it's social. So
Yeah.
you kind of need to be social, and really that's where those relationships blossom. I mean, there's so many times I don't know somebody like in person, but you've connected in such a way online that when you do meet them in person for the first time, you don't always realize, like, wait, I've never met you in person. Like,
Right?
you're taller than I thought you were, I mean, and that's where that magic happens. But
That's
it's true, like Katie, like,
that
didn't realize
happens.
like we had never met in person, but we're doing these live shows, like we're always messaging back and forth all the time. And then it's like, I've never met you in person. You're a lot taller than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because that's where a lot of like the relationships with other Remax people throughout the country come from, or even other agents within Brevard County. I'll be friends with them on Facebook. We'll interact, and then we'll meet in person for the first time, and it's always funny. Oh my gosh, you're you, like wow. So
I
that's
find that
really
to me, it's like I don't feel social is like the end all be all. Like I don't feel everybody has to be on social. I know many top agents that aren't. For me, I'm more of an introvert, so social media helps those people know who I am, so that conversation kind of happens naturally. So that really helps me being kind of an introvert. Like people will come to me, and that's perfect. Like I love that because I won't go to up to somebody. I don't know. It's just who I
right,
am.
right, right.
But having that magic happen where it turns that first meeting in person from a handshake to a hug, to me, that's the magic of social. But you're not going to have that if you're just clicking like and not engaging.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Now, this one I'll let you talk about a little bit, which is use search engine optimization, or SEO. We hear SEO all the time, SEO, yeah, SEO, and we're so big on like the acronyms, and half the time people don't even know what that means. But search engine optimization, tell them how to
I
use
mean,
that.
basically, it's just like on your website. I still feel Google's way smarter than me. I can't out trick them or anything like that. But on your website, for example, every image that you use should be titled, what is that image? It shouldn't be, Shutterstock 12XY, whatever. It should be titled, what is that? Is that, Cocoa Beach surfers or something like that? So every image should be titled. And really it's all about the back end of your website. Every page should have a title and description. You don't have to be some SEO wizard. I'm not. Uh, I mean, I wouldn't do it as a service because, again, I know enough to get in trouble. I feel Google's way smarter than me, but it's using those, having that local content is going to have those keywords for the cities. Subdivisions are huge because the Zillows of the world aren't paying attention to the subdivisions. They're really paying attention to the bigger cities. And that's, so if somebody is in your area and knows what subdivision they want to live in, and that's their search, that's where your website will actually come up into, those search results. So search engine optimization is really just the keywords that are on your website. Make sure every image, and I believe that's, along with the ADA compliancy and stuff like that is, if somebody, is blind and they have different ways of reading your website, each image should be titled what it actually is. It You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to try to trick Google. To me, it's just having local content words that are actually on your website.
Gotcha. So that makes perfect sense, and I don't even know if this matters or this changes everything, but even when I do my listings and I put the narrative, I'm always making sure I'm using keywords of, great sun tree location, or, located on the Space Coast, or, whatever, located in the courtyards, whatever the neighborhood is, even though that from looking at the listing, in my mind, and I don't know if this is true or not, that helps people to find stuff. I don't know.
Well, and if you think about it, you have this whole IDX that's fed, it's syndicated on thousands and thousands of websites. So absolutely. I mean, that's going to be next pulls over for that listing. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, so I've always done that, and I would suspect maybe I learned that from you years ago. I don't know, but I always make sure I have words in my narrative that I think might put that listing somewhere to help somebody find it. Right.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think that's going to help with, the search engine. And if you had a YouTube video, copy and paste that narrative into the description of the YouTube video, all of that. For
Gotcha.
sure.
So number 4, attend local events and make sure that you're introducing yourself as a real estate agent. Now, that doesn't mean, hi, I'm Kerry Ramage with Remax Elite to everybody.
Yeah, to me, that's tacky.
Sometimes it's wearing a pin that, the Remax balloon. I haven't always done this, and I'm not huge on the name tag either. But I have a million pins, and I've just started to maybe put one on a shirt. Although now a couple have been ruined because the shirt went into the wash with the pin on.
Oh, and if it's not magnetic, it totally ruins the shirt too.
Yeah, well, and then the pin has kind of this. I don't know. Anyway, but if you have it, like I have a drawer full. Now, watch me not be able to pull one out. I have a drawer full. Here is a Remax with a Children's Miracle Network Hospital. Here's another Remax. You know what I mean? Here's
And to me, it was always all of my shirts.
Yeah.
So every football game, every, all the kids' activities.
Here's another good Remax one. You know what I mean? You just have it on your shirt, and then that is a conversation starter. People are like, oh, what's that? Or even, I just got this one in the mail. This is my CRS for this year. Now, people won't look at this and go, oh my gosh, oh, you're a realtor. Oh, and you gave to RPAC. You're a major investor with RPAC. You can't even hardly see it. I can't anyway. But if I have this on my shirt and I'm chit-chatting with you, are you going to say, hey, what's that pin on your shirt? And I'm going to say, oh, well, I sell real estate and I'm a CRS, which is a certified residential specialist. And that also means that I'm doing additional education every year. And it also says that I'm an RPAC major investor, which means that I give to RPAC, which is the Realtor Political Action Committee. And what we do with that is we generally spend money on candidates that endorse private property rights, because that's what we're all about, private property rights. You should be able to do what you want with your home. So it's a great conversation starter. All right, so let me put all my pins back.
I'm definitely more about the swag because I'm more of that subtle, not screaming it out.
Right, I'm not going to run around and go, oh, this is funny. This is my Remax 40-year pin.
Oh, wow. And so that's 10 years ago.
Years old.
Almost 10 years ago. So I wonder where the 50 years are. They'll be giving those out.
At R4 this year, yeah. So, yes. Gosh, things you find in your drawer when you're doing video. So make sure you're attending local events. Make sure you're out and about. We have some agents in our office that, like Karen Osenak, she does a lot of charity work, is involved in a lot of events, and as a result, gets business from doing those things. I mean, that is just awesome. Also, get involved with local charities and nonprofits. Just back to Karen for a minute. I mean, she was very involved with Habitat for Humanity. And I know that she's gotten a lot of business from that. So was Karen Biamonte, So when you're involved in those sorts of things and people see you giving back, I think that they're more apt to use you because they know that you're invested in your community.
Absolutely. And it helps you find the tribe. I mean, when I was heavily involved with like autism, ADHD, it's like those are the people that I connected with because we had similar situations or, and I think that just helps find your people of what you care about. And that just helps all the way around because people get to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah, for sure. And then sponsor a sports team or an event in your community. I mean, there's so many opportunities at the local schools to sponsor. When my kids went to Century Elementary, I always did a sponsorship, and they had signs, the little signs just on the little frame that you stick in the grass all around the car loop. And I had Kerry Ramage Remax Elite. So every day the parents were seeing my name and my logo and Remax Elite. So they knew that I was giving to the community. And it's funny. So Gavin, this is his last year in band at Vieira High School. And just because of my work schedule, I don't always have time to volunteer. I try to when I can. But they all know I'm always ready to write a check.
Yeah, I always would write the check. No, I'm not working the concession stand, but here's money.
Yeah. So I write the check, which then, usually gets me some sort of sign somewhere or some sort of thank you somewhere. So people know that I'm giving and I'm reinvesting in our community,
Right.
Number 7, like those. So like 4, 5, and 6 were really attend local events, get involved with local charities, sponsors, team. Those are kind of all within the same wheelhouse. Give presentations on various topics. I see many agents renting a table at the local bridal show. And then they have, hey, bridal show. You have a couple who's getting married. So chances are, sorry, I'm shaking my desk. Chances are that couple may now need a house or a larger house. So that's a great way to get your.
And I would say to partner with a mortgage company, because a lot of parents are going to kind of do a refi of some sort to help pay for this.
Yeah. So you have the
parents,
the mom. Yes. That's genius, actually, because you have the mother with the daughter probably at the bridal show, and they might need to do a refi.
So partner up, and that saves cost on that table, all that fun stuff.
Right. And always host open houses. If you like open houses, that's a great way. And, we're seeing tons of this now where I'll get phone calls from agents at other brokerages who'll say, hey, I see you're listing at, 123 Main Street. Can I host an open house there? Now, some listing agents don't like that. I'm not having an agent from another brokerage host my open house. I don't know. Why not? If you're not going to do it, why not? You have someone who wants to do it. You're satisfying a need for your seller. So that's kind of from the listing side, but from the hosting the open house side, I mean, now you've got to, I passed an open house yesterday, and I live in Century Country Club. So in not my specific neighborhood, and she must've had 40 signs out with her name and face on them.
That's the mega open house.
Mega open house, Tom Ferry.
I see you everywhere.
Exactly. And whether
Bernadette did that, right?
Yes, Bernadette did it multiple times. She was on a roll before COVID, that for sure. So, I mean, that's another great way to get your name out there, because they see your name and face everywhere.
When I was brand new, that's what I did. As I did open houses every single weekend. That's what I did. And I always either had like my lender or my sister just, sitting there with me. But for me, it was just a way to meet people, to get to know. And I made sure I had printouts of every single listing in that subdivision. I previewed every single one. So at least, when they're looking at, well, I like a different floor plan, or I'd like this, I would know exactly what house in that neighborhood.
And then you're the expert. You're the expert. You have all of the information. They're ready for you to share with them. You don't have to say, oh, I don't know, let me look on my computer or whatever. You're the expert, and
I had everything right there for them. So, I mean, it was just,
the expert.
For me, it was more of just getting used to everything. Like I had done all the back end, all the paperwork, all the transaction part of everything before I, transitioned to be an agent. And then that was a totally different world.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I realized I didn't like that side very much. I work very well on a schedule, and that, I didn't have, neither of the kids were even in school yet. So that was, I was like, okay, yeah, no. I can't function.
So also always connecting with past clients. Make sure you're using a CRM. Everybody says, what's the best CRM? The one that you're using. And it's funny. So I've used this example again, but Quintavious Burdett, when you ask him what CRS do you use, he's like, I use this. And he has every contact in here labeled as an A, B, or C. And then he just knows he has to contact them based on, whether they're an A, B, or C, whatever their ranking is. And he keeps up with it that way.
Yeah, I'm more of a spreadsheet data, that kind of, I like that, and being able to add tasks and kind of like the first app. I think I like that just based on behaviors and stuff like that, all that artificial intelligence. But anything that you're doing, as long as you're doing something, it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
You have to do something. And if
Yep.
you haven't been, it's probably because you've been busy or you're newer, maybe within the last 5 to 8 years, where we haven't really needed to hone in on that part of the business. But really, now is the time to get that database together. Just make it part of that closing checklist to add these people to your database. Really, it takes 2 minutes. But once you go a year, now it becomes a daunting task, and then everybody just kind of stops, and it's 1 year turns into 3 into 5, and it's like, yeah, oh my gosh, I don't even know what
Right.
else.
Right, for sure. And then stay active in online real estate forums or online neighborhood pages, where you just are constantly, you're not, I mean, you're not going, hi, I'm Kerry Ramage Remax Elite, but you're just engaging. And that way, when they see your name, it's a reminder of who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. And just like what you were saying, where you're able, somebody's looking for an AC person, you're able to give a few recommendations just because of, that's your line of business. You're constantly using these different vendors. So just, I feel if you come from a place of value, it's more authentic and people sense the sales approach. I think we're way smarter than that anymore.
Yeah.
But just coming from a place of value, but staying in tune. For me, even like an online forum, just the Facebook groups, my relationships with other agents are a lot because of all of these different Facebook groups with other agents and stuff like that. And I love when, a broker in, some other state asks me like, hey, I have some, one of my agents is looking for an agent in, your area. I love
Right.
that. I
Right.
want to be that go-to when they see a specific city. I want to be that agent that they think of to go to looking for, an agent. And that's, especially for an agent, that's
Yes.
kind of how you build that referral database, whether it be from consumers in your neighborhood or agent to agent, and
Right.
just being active and creating those genuine, authentic relationships with people. That's just going to be a win-win, both, any way you look at it.
Right, exactly. So just a quick recap of the 10 ways: create a blog and make sure they're topics that people are interested in asking about. Connect with people on social media. Use search engine optimization or SEO. Attend local events and make sure you're either wearing some swag or letting people know that you sell real estate. Sponsor a sports team or local event and community. Get involved with local charities. Give presentations on various real estate topics. I mean, you could even give a presentation at a homeowners association. We had somebody did that years ago when I wasn't selling real estate at our homeowners association. Host open houses, connect with past clients and ask them for the referral. Remind them that you sell real estate and ask them to think of you when it's time for their friends and family to buy or sell, and stay active online in real estate forums.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always a great way. So what is our weekly activity?
So what action can you take this week that will break you loose from whatever is holding you back?
Ooh, that's deep.
It is deep, I know.
Ooh.
I've been thinking about that for myself and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I'm sure I have 1,000 on that list.
Yeah, that's what I mean by I don't know. I'm like, there's so many things I need to do. And for me, disorganization it holds me back. And my office, if everybody could see it, which I have it, like, I don't have it in the thing. Oh my gosh, it's a total wreck. Today, I am going to focus on getting it organized because that holds me back from being able to do what I need to do. And what are our words of wisdom for this week?
Life begins at the end of your comfort zone, which is one of my favorite quotes because that's so true. Is where you get uncomfortable is where that growth and that magic happens. So sometimes you just have to get a little uncomfortable to grow your business as a person, as anything.
Yeah. So just quick thing. So drinking a lot of water has become one of my things. So Here's this I bought last week so I can make sure I'm keeping up with my drinking.
I bought one of those. It ended up I don't even think I got at all. Now it's what I use to fill the dog.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I didn't even go halfway. Like I was like, are you kidding me? Like this is apparently I don't drink enough water.
I will tell you this though. What I've been doing is because this is too daunting to me. So I take it and then I fill up the cup with it.
I don't know. I need those words of encouragement, but it was still like ridiculous. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty bad on that front. 100%. Yeah. So next Monday starts our Reignite 2023. So make sure, go to mondaymorningwakeupcall.com, register if you have not already. We'll be sending out some information this week. And we are super excited to get that started, but the digital workbook, and then also we have goodies, giveaways, as well as the replays that we'll be sending if you just register. We don't, spam you. I can't stand that either. So register so you can get that digital workbook, download it, all that fun stuff. If you have any questions, reach out to us there. But I am super excited. So, and it's still mind blowing that it's already this time of year.
2022. I just can't even believe it.
It's almost over.
Yeah.
2023. Yeah. Like what? Yeah, I didn't do so well with my my vision boarding and my goals.
Yeah, this hasn't been a great year for me either, if I'm going to admit that. But that's okay.
There's always next year. And I know I had some stuff on my list for 5 years before I actually got to it. But the point is I still have to stare at it every day and realize, crap, I haven't done that yet.
Right.
Exactly. So it'll be bigger on my vision board when we start doing that. So register, and until next week, wake up, kick ass, and repeat. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.